All right. So again, this is how you're going to look at everything as far as signing in. So I'm going to go ahead and use my demo account. So once I log in, you can see here I have a few things that are going on within deployments already. So again, what I wanted to show you, these are quick hyperlinks. You can click on your deployments here and it'll take you to the deployment section. Or you can go under Marketing and Deployment Center and deploy that way. Or you can deploy directly to your contact from that contact file. So what I want to show you first is the media library. Click on the media library, go to the public folder. Then from here, you're going to see all sorts of content available to you. You might have some more content that's customizable for your company that will be a little bit different, but this is essentially how you find the information. So let's just say I'm looking at birthday email greetings. I want to send somebody out a birthday. I look at all this information and I click on this link and okay, that doesn't look like what I want to send. That's kind of weird to me. That's not how I want to preview it. Yes, you can preview it that way, but let's do it the quick way. You guys are busy trying to close loans and we want to do it the quick way. That's even more efficient. So I want to see what this birthday cupcake looks like. So from here, you can see the different media types that are available to send out. So let's just say I want to see what this one looks like. You're going to click the little envelope to preview it. Now, you know, in the old version, in order for you to preview something, it was a little cumbersome. You had to go all the way through the entire process to send yourself a preview email, and then it always came with the name of Elizabeth or Jonathan, and it got everybody confused because that's not who you were sending it to. Well, that's no longer the case anymore, thankfully, within this system. Now you can preview it with your contact's name. So let's just say I'm going to type in my contact. And that's my contact there. I'm going to select this person and I want to preview it. From here, I can click it. And you can see all of the information with my little demo account. You can see it has my client's name there. So it's no longer Elizabeth or Jonathan. And I happen to have a co-branded partner attached to this contact, so I only wish, right? So that information happens to be there. So you can see there's no longer confusion of Elizabeth or Jonathan, so to speak. So again, because this co-branded partner is actually co-branded to this client, that's why his information will always appear on the material for emails being sent out from the system to this client. So that looks good. That looks like what I want to send. So how do I do that? Pretty easy. I can do it a couple different ways. I can do it through the deployment center. And from here, I can click create deployment. This is a birthday email greeting just to this one client. So I'm going to make sure it's a one-time deployment. I'm going to click and we'll say happy birthday. And it's for myself. Now I can choose the timing. No longer are you married to a specific timing and we force it out. It is now, you can choose it to do two different ways. You can choose now or you can choose later. So let's say I want to do it, well, later as in, we'll use Easter as this Sunday as an example, and you want to send out an Easter greeting. You can actually set this up to go to your contacts on Easter Sunday, and you don't even have to log in anymore on your day off. You can set this to go on this specific day, and you can choose the timing of when you want it sent. But just for training purposes, I'm going to choose now, so that it'll be deployed from now. My time zone is hard-coded into the system. This is set up by your company based on the time zones that you're in. I just happen to reside in the Eastern time zone, so that's why my time zone says Eastern. We click on Next. From there, it automatically opens up to the media library. So I'm going to click on that birthday email greeting because I liked that pink cupcake, and I'm going to hit select. Then from here, you need to select the available media types. Even though you know you're only sending it as an email, you still need to click on it and then click on next. Now from here is where you're building your audience. So I'm going to do certain contact types. But oh, look at that. I need an opt-out list. You cannot send anything out of this system unless if an opt-out list has been selected. It is a safety precaution. It's also a compliance precaution as well. Your clients will now have the ability, instead of the old version, when they opted out of every single thing from the system. Now, when they want to opt out, say they don't want this birthday email, when they go to click opt out or unsubscribed, however it's set up for you, they will have a list of options based on what your marketing team has established. So if this is a birthday email that I'm sending out and this person doesn't want to receive birthday communication and there's a birthday opt-out list that's an option for them, they can click on that. So that's why this is required now. Again, you can no longer deploy anything in this system unless if you opt out. So we're going to click OK. I'm going to click marketing because that just happens to be the only thing that I have set up. And then I'm going to do certain contact types. I know that this is a client. And do I want to exclude everyone? I know that I have one client that I'm sending it to, or maybe it's a specific client. But look at that. Oh, I have a couple different clients that I'm going to be sending this out to that pull up. Maybe I don't want to send it out to Tinkerbell. So I'm going to exclude her because I'm going to send it out to just this one contact. So I'm hit next. This looks correct. Yep, I'm going to deploy it. Now, because I just deployed it, it says down here at the bottom, if I just click out and click back in, you'll see it's gone, it's been deployed. And it's right here at the top of my list, it's been deployed. So what's great about the Deployment Center now, it is where you can send, email, all of your marketing material, but it's also kind of your reporting tab feature in the old system combined into one. And what do I mean by that? If you click on this Happy Birthday, Bailey, and I look at this, this is all of my reporting. So if I click on the audience count, you can see who it went to, and you can even view it of what it is. Let me click out of that. Now, if I haven't received this email yet in my inbox, but if I did, it would say the number of emails delivered on here. And any interactions, again, I haven't received it yet in my inbox. So it would say that I've opened it, or a unique opening means that sometimes they haven't clicked to download the image. So that could be a unique open. You can also tell if they've clicked all the way through your message as well. And if you happen to have any material that might have been marked as spam by an email provider, or if the client's unsubscribed, it will show there, or even if it's bounced, it'll show there. And then you can see who's created it, what the collection was, and all of that other information, which is really nice. More in-depth reporting than what was before. But how do I deploy content specifically to one client? Pretty easy. You go to your contacts section and you hit View Contacts. Now, my contacts happen to just appear this way, but you can also have it as a list view. Oh, I'm sorry, I have it list view. Table view. It's up to your preference and how you want this to look. So let's just say, oh, that looks good. I want to send something to Tinkerbell. So I'm looking at Tinkerbell and I'm like, okay, I need to send her something. From here, I can click the paper airplane. I can't talk anymore. Click the paper airplane. And then from here, it opens again to your public folder, or however you want to do it. I'm going to select another holiday greeting just for the sake of selecting something. And I'm going to choose Easter eggs because I know it's coming up to Easter. From this point, because I'm deploying directly to this client, and this only happens to be an email format, it'll automatically populate to this email format. Again, I've got to choose my marketing my opt-out list, but here's where something neat. I can CC a recipient. So I can CC maybe the spouse or a co-brand partner or who's referred them. I can CC myself, or I can specify a contact. If your company has happened to set up teams, again, you would see this in your profile field. you would be able to CC a team member. So maybe I CC my LOA. They receive a copy so they can notate that this has been sent out and maybe follow up with that client. So there's different options in here. So this looks like what I want. I'm going to confirm and send. Again, a little checkpoint, make sure this is what you want to do. Yes, I'm going to deploy. And then from there, it takes me right back to that client file so I can continue to work and do what I need to do. I won't receive this, a copy of this, just as a little heads up to show you, because this actually goes to my director's test email account. So we send things to each other every once in a while to see how things look. Oh, and I just received that email, and it did go in my junk folder. Let me drag this over so you can see. My apologies. And this is what I'm talking about, a unique open. It's open, but it's unique because the images haven't downloaded. It's just privacy precautions that are set in email providers. So if I download pictures, it'll then download everything. Oh, it hasn't downloaded. There it goes. So then I can go ahead. You can see what it looks like coming from you. Again, if they want to unsubscribe, they would unsubscribe here. From here, you could see, this is what I'm just talking about, of how they want to subscribe. If I had more opt-out lists, they would all be listed, but then they could choose what do they want to opt out from, instead of the old version where when they opted out, it opted out of everything, even that loan level communication, which is really what we don't want them to opt out on. We want them to have that loan level communication so they know what's going on with their loan and they're in process. So then there is all of that, which is great. So again, if I go back to my deployment center and I go to deploy and I go to Tinkerbell Easter eggs, she hasn't opened it yet. So therefore I'm not able to do that reporting. Let's see, I have an SMS message here. It was delivered. So you can see again, and then I could view the information once it's been delivered and they've opened it, and all of that stuff. So again, more in-depth reporting. But let's talk about this deployment center. What do these buttons mean? Scheduled is just that. These are scheduled to go out. As you can see, this next purchase prospect campaign material that will go out is scheduled to go out April 23rd. So that's what scheduled is. Once it has gone out, it will go to your deployed section. As you can see, everything that I have had that I have sent out. Available subscriptions is just that. They are subscriptions that your company has established for you, or potentially you have established for yourself, such as Markets in the Minutes, for example. They're kind of similar to perpetuals in the old version. So there's a birthday rule, and if I click on these, it'll show me what this is. It'll show me that it is birthday, and it's going to go out to all of my contacts from me, and you just see all of this information. So I'm going to go back. Oops, I apologize. I clicked on the wrong thing. Yes, I want to stop this tutorial. Once I go back to the deployment center, available subscriptions. So you see here where it says subscribe, that means that I'm automatically not going to be having this available to me. If I want to use this birthday rule, for example, I click subscribe, and therefore I'm subscribed. But let's just say this Markets in the Minutes, that's not what I really want. I don't want to send this out. So I'm going to click unsubscribe. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. So now I'm not subscribed. But let's just say, oh, I clicked on that on accident and unsubscribed myself. I need to correct that. You click on the subscribed, but for Markets in the Minutes, you need to build your audience. So it is set up for you, but then you choose who you want to send this to. So if I build my email audience, again, choosing my opt-out list, I can do certain contact types. I can choose to include my co-brand partners. I have insurance agents. I have real estate agents, referral sources. Maybe I have a vendor. And I can choose to exclude maybe my clients. You don't have to put an exclusion on there. But it's up to you and what you want to do. But you're telling the system who you want this to go to based on your contact types that are available to you that your team has set up for you. I click apply. There's all my people that happen to be a contact type match that are in my system. That looks correct to me. So I'm going to go ahead and save audience and subscribe me. So that's how you would subscribe. Now, when you go to my subscriptions, it's just that. It is your subscriptions on what you want to go ahead and deploy. But what is a little bit different about these reoccurring deployments versus rules? The reoccurring deployments you can pause. So let's just say this self-deployment, that test deployment that I had created, just as a test. I'm like, I'm going to be out of the office and I really don't see the value of that going out while I'm on vacation. I'm going to pause that subscription. So you can see it's now paused. And then when I come back to work after my, month-long trek around Europe or something of that nature, don't we all wish, I'm going to go ahead and resume this recurring deployment. And then it'll pick right back up from when you have set it. So that's what that means. Now let's just say, I don't really want this. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And then I'm good to go. I don't have to use it anymore. And again, if you don't want to use it, this test deployment, it's still subscribed, but because it's paused, I'm not able to delete it, unsubscribe it basically. So I need to go ahead and resume it. Go back to my available subscriptions. Oh. And I think I've locked it for myself. And because I have created it, I'm able to delete this deployment. There we go. So it's no longer something that I have set up to go out. Now, canceled is just that. It's anything that you have that's canceled, that you've decided that you didn't want to send out and so forth. So this is all your deployment center. But how do you set up a reoccurring deployment? Again, you're going to go to create deployment in the deployment center. This button right here, recurring deployment. I am not creative today. So you're going to name your deployment. You're going to deploy it for yourself. You're going to choose your frequency now. Do you want this to go out yearly, monthly, or weekly? Let's just say I'm going to send it out yearly. And I'm going to choose a specific date. Let's just say I know that Halloween is always on the 31st. So I'm going to choose October 31st. Now, again, you can choose your deployment, but what I always caution everyone that you need to do first is change out your period time. I made the mistake when I first started and I didn't notice this, and I was sending things, because I was like, oh, 12 o'clock, that's perfect. And I sent this out to a tester at 12 a.m. and they weren't happy. So always change your period time first, unless if you intend to send this out at 9 a.m. or something along that lines. But let's just say I'm going to send this out at 12 p.m. What's also great is that you can send yourself a heads up reminder. If you choose to do this, you can choose how many days in advance you will get a reminder that this deployment is going out. Let's just say I'm going to do it one day before so that I know I'm going to be sending it out. So then I hit next. Again, I'm going to open my media library. And because it's Halloween, I'm going to select a Halloween themed. We will do this one. I got to choose my media type. Now, what I want to talk about this right here that I glossed over earlier, use contact media preference. What this means is in your contact files, if your contact has a note that you have placed in that states they prefer SMS marketing, and you have the option to send this media type out multiple ways, then you'll want to hit this button. It won't let me right now because there's only one media type. But if you hover over it, it tells you what it means. Your contact that prefers to have this communication only as an SMS feature and not as an email will receive the SMS option versus the email option. So that's what that means. If you have multiple ways to send out your media, and it's been identified that way in the media library. So then this looks all good. I'm going to hit next. Now from here, again, you need to build your email audience. You click on it. Again, I'm like, opt-out list. I got to click my opt-out list. I'm going to target all my contacts because I think that looks good. And I'm like, yep, everybody should receive a happy Halloween. I'm going to hit next. This looks good to go. I'm going to click to deploy. So then, you kind of refresh a little bit here. I go to my subscriptions. It is right here. I guess I should have renamed it as, let me rename this here. I click on it, I edit my deployment, and I'll do happy Halloween. And it makes you go through the entire process again, which is good because then you make sure that you've got it correct of how you want it. I'm going to target all my contacts because I think this looks good. I hit next, and I'm going to update my reoccurring deployment. So then I look at this and I'm like, okay, that looks better. So then it's subscribed. But let's just say, how do I set that? How does it, when is it, what's it look like? If you click on it again, you can see the configuration. It's for myself. When is it going out? All of that other information on here. It tells you what type of collection and the type of media. And again, if I click on this email preview again, I type in a contact name, so much better than the old platform, and I click preview. I then can see what it's going to look like going to my client. I won't click on this. I just happen to choose this one because I have another a client who, this is her favorite one, and she sends this to me personally every single year too. So that's why I just kind of put this on here. It's basically pumpkins, and a pumpkin is drinking pumpkin spice, and she thinks that's comical. So I just happen to choose this one. So then I can see what that looks like. I can choose my audience. That's because it's for myself. You can see all of that information that's on here. But if I need to edit it again, like I have the H little, I can edit to my deployment and fix it again. Looks good. Build my audience, target all my contacts. Next, yes, update. Now it looks good. So you can see that that's the difference between the information there. What questions do we have? Seems everybody's pretty quiet right now. Deployments are probably the easiest thing for you to do within this system. It's pretty self-explanatory because it gives you all of the walkthroughs. Versus the old version, I feel it was very cumbersome and sometimes very confusing too, especially when you're building an audience. Any questions? Are we still going to be able to send to our groups that we had in the old version? Your groups, so let me just say that all of your contacts within your database are transferring over. They will all be in your database come Monday morning. Currently, whatever you're seeing in your database is whatever is flowing over in the integration sync. So anything that is older will then, you'll see that all come Monday. Now, let's talk about groups first. Because it is a completely different platform, yes, the system, this version is an upgrade, but it's a completely different system, to be honest with you. They're not even on the same integration platform. They're completely separate from one another. They don't talk to one another. Your groups that you have created in the version 2 do not transfer over. So you might want to take a note of that, pop in there, take a note of everything that's in your database. If there happens to be things that you know that you use on a frequent basis, but you don't see it here in this version, let your marketing team know, because they have the ability to add things in, or maybe it's just called something else within the new system that you're just not finding. Some things are called differently, like workflows are campaigns in the old version. But yes, to answer your question, you can send information to your groups as well. I believe I just created a group not too long ago, I go to my contacts, and I did not create a group. I thought I created a group before this call, and I apologize. But yes, you can send information to your groups, just like you did previously. Another question, the old system had the in-process videos that worked with Encompass. The realtors had their pictures. Will these contacts come over with their pictures? And how do we add the realtor pictures to the new contact so the videos continue to perform? So your integration works the same in this version as it did in the old version. Your marketing team has already established all that and it's already working. The in-process videos and everything still works the same. What you will need to do, what's the difference with your realtors and with co-brand partners? Realtors are just that. They're people that you've established a relationship with, but maybe you not necessarily have a very strong bond. So you put them on flyers or single property sites, but you don't co-brand with them on email material. That's where the co-brand partner information comes into play. That's where you go to, this is a co-brand partner I have created. So this is where I would go in and I would see that he is actually a co-brand partner. He has that title. You can see the partnership right now. It's a free seat that they receive. And this is only to co-brand with them of marketing email material from the system that is not part of your in-process communication. That's something completely separate. So let's just say I have Jason in here. He was my co-brand partner in the old version, and I had to upload his pictures because unfortunately pictures do not transfer over. Remember, this is a completely different system. It's a different web link. It's different everything. So unfortunately, you'll have to upload your pictures again. And I apologize. I know it's people are probably going, ugh, and grumbling. I know it's going to be cumbersome at first, but it will pay off in the long run because once you do it, you won't ever have to do it again for various reasons. So Jason originally was my realtor partner, but because he and I have spoken about it and we're going to heavily co-brand with one another on specific things, I went ahead and sent him his co-brand partner information, which was a little button that was right here. It looked like two people. Once he got that information sent to him, he then accepted it, and then that's when it changed him from a real estate agent that was in my database, as an example, to a co-brand partner. From that point in time, I am no longer able to edit his contact record. He then can log into his own seat, and all he can see is his profile, and he can then go ahead and if you have not uploaded his information, his picture or whatnot, he can then do it himself. And then you would see this information. But let's just say down the road that Jason and I, we're no longer really, we haven't worked with him in a long time. Why should he be one of my co-brand partners? He's really not feeding me any business. So I'm going to remove this partnership and then he no longer will be my co-branded partner. So if I click remove partnership, yes, I'm sure. He now flips back to no contact type. So I need, and then he has the two people talking. I need to go in and make sure he's a contact type. Otherwise, there's nothing up here. I'm going to go ahead and edit him. And I'm going to make sure he's a contact type. And he now is a real estate agent, at least in my database. And I hit save. Now he has a contact type listed out the top that says real estate agent. So you can see I have no relationship with him. And he was tied into this client. And if I no longer, oh, that needs to be changed. It doesn't, he referred her, but he's no longer my relationship person. So when I go to market to her and send her some information, his information will no longer appear on the emails that I send to her because he is no longer my co-branded partner. Now, again, in process is something separate. That has nothing to do with co-branded partner or with realtors or whatnot. That's something completely separate. That's all integration. This is specifically to send information out that is not in process related. It doesn't affect your flyers and it doesn't affect your single property sites. There we go. That's something as well. You can co-brand with them and market them however you want. This is strictly to send out any other email communication from the system, whether it's birthdays, holidays, anything credit related or whatnot, and you want to co-brand, this client needs to be co-branded, then I need to go ahead and make sure he's one of my co-branded partners. And again, it's easy to do. I hit invite to co-brand. Yes, I'm sure. Then he gets sent an invitation in order to establish that relationship. Then once he's established that relationship, if I click on Barry Allen here, you will see that he has accepted this partnership. And then I'm able to co-brand with him. I need to establish a relationship with him with a separate client I have on here so that this relationship shows up down here. Where do you go? Understood, but where do you upload the picture if they're not going to be a co-brand partner? Oh, that's easy. Let me go back into Jason since he's still technically a realtor. He is not a co-branded partner. I click on the edit button up at the top. Right here. There will be a little image area where you can go ahead and upload his picture and his, I'm a comic book fan, I apologize. And then you can upload their realtor logo as well. Let's see. Oh, perfect. But again, everything is different. This is only for them to be in your system. And again, I apologize. I know it's a cumbersome task to do, but I guarantee you, once you have it done in your new platform, you won't ever have to do it again. That's why I say do all this now before Monday when you come back into work and you start off only with this system. So, and again, you know, it might be a good idea to reach out to your co-branded partners and say, hey, we have a new platform we're going to be working on. I wanted to update, do you have an updated headshot that you would like for me to use? Again, it's strengthening and building that relationship with those co-branded partners. Any other questions that we may happen to have about deployments at least? All right, well, I appreciate everybody's attention today. These were some great questions. Again, what I recommend to every single person who utilizes our platform, no matter who you are, what company you sit in, create yourself a couple test contacts. Create yourself a client and a real estate agent and then co-brand with them. Create yourself some prospects like I have here so that you can continue to send things out and play around with it so you have an idea of what it looks like coming from a client perspective and how do you send these out as you're working within the system. That's the best advice I can give to anybody. The more you play around with it, the easier that this will be, and I can guarantee you, you're going to love this platform more than you will the old. As one of my other accounts who is fully live in this system now for 3 months, they don't know why they waited so long to migrate over because it just functions more for what you need in order to create more business for yourself. So your marketing team is sending out some more training information. If you want to attend this training session again, you're more than welcome to. Just keep an eye out for that and sign up for things. And I look forward to speaking to you guys soon.